Hello, everyone. I have my dinner. I was very hungry, so I already started eating it, but please grab your dinner. I have to show you. Jasper's so cute. Just know she's gonna be there watching all of us, okay? Hello, everyone. Okay, I definitely thought it was Wednesday yesterday. Or wait, no, I thought it was Tuesday yesterday, but it's definitely Wednesday. But hello, everyone. How are you? Let me turn on more lights in here. Okay, grab your sandwich, grab your fries or anything because we are going to relax today. I wrote some notes, but I'm kind of in the free ball mode right now. Let's do this break, this entry, whatever. Hi, how are you? If you have clicked on this video as your first video, I am Elle, but I would definitely start. Jasper hates me right now. Lay down. It's okay. Relax. This is our time to be sober for 45 minutes. So do it with me because I am sober. I am not smoking right now. It's day 4. We're so excited and cheers, you guys. Fun fact. First of all, who likes In-N-Out? Second of all, if you just said no, fuck off my page, as Alex would say. You guys, I am YouTube brain rot. I love YouTube. We'll talk about cannabis in a second. I love YouTube. I watch all and every, except like the boys. Like I don't watch like any boy channels. I lied. I recently watched 2 Mr. Beast videos and now I'm like, I kind of get it, but I don't know, cause he was just on a live where people were saying free Palestine and he was just quiet. So I thought that was weird, but I digress, okay? We're not getting into politics right now because the world is literally on fire and all you and I are trying to do is try to break our weed addiction. Like, damn. But yeah, start at number 1 if you started, or if you need to start over. Oh my God, you guys. Okay, let's talk about yesterday. What happened yesterday? So yesterday, I had kind of an anxious dream in the night. It wasn't terrible. These dogs were staring at me. It wasn't terrible, but it was just like, I always have the same one where I had like missed every class. Well, I have 2 different ones. Now I don't remember which one it was. I think I just made this up. I think it was the other one. But anyways, my 2 dreams, my 2 anxiety dreams are, one, it is, I'm about to not be able to graduate and I had a class and I never showed up to it. So I had like all missing assignments and everything. So basically I wasn't going to graduate. But I think the one that I had last night was more like a project was due that day and I had like not started and I was having to start designing like an entire project. If you don't know, I'm an architect in my professional life. See, here's the other excuse is like, well, I'm successful. I don't need to quit smoking. How successful do you want to be? I look like I'm balding. How successful do you want to be? You know what I mean? And this is not shame. I know this feels like shame because it's like on day 4 for like people that are watching, but this is not like the shame area. I had smoked for 12 years every day. I used to think it was a comfort. I used to think it was to help my stress. I used to think all these things, okay? But we are see, it kind of stresses me out a little bit, but we're breaking that illusion, like, and something beautiful here. I'll just skip to one of the things that it said in the Easy Way book. If you guys haven't picked it up, I strongly encourage it. I am not, I get nothing from making you buy that book. They just get richer, but it can save you. Like, the book has just truly and profoundly changed my whole perspective, which is the point. Because again, you could go to day 3 and we'll talk about it a little bit more today, but the willpower method will never work, because in the willpower method, you have told yourself that you can't have what you want. And like, who wants to quit like that? Who wants to quit being told you can't have that? Even if it's yourself, it's like, or the way that Alan Carr and John Dicey, again, I never know if I say that right, Dicey, Dicey? It's not, yeah, it's, I almost said Dicky. I'm dyslexic, so I never know, and I'm okay saying things wrong. I don't care. When I was younger, I really hated the popcorn reading, so I would never know who would be me. But people would pick me almost on purpose because I read bad. And I didn't give a fuck. The way I would read a sentence was like this. Part of you thinks that they are and different. And today, the other thing that I wanted to say was that she is very homeless and we're about the same person. I don't know if I thought people didn't know, but sometimes my teacher would be like, go reread that again, and I'd be like, you're a bitch. Sorry, Hazel is also here and she's afraid of feet. Did not mean to cut that, so now I'm gonna have to post edit. Great. She's scared of feet. And my feet are up here. Okay. Oh, the lighting got way better anyways. Okay. What were you saying? Yesterday. So, okay. Yesterday I woke up, I had an anxious dream. And then, we have a coffee shop around here. We've never walked to it yet because it's been too hot outside. But I was like, I have anxious energy and the first thing I want to do is smoke. So I grabbed my husband and I was like, we gotta go somewhere. So we took the dogs to go get coffee, and it was like a mile walk there and a mile walk back. So it took enough time, and we ate our coffee there and our matchas. And that was all fine. I got back and I worked, and that was all fine. Okay, the first time I wanted to smoke actually was like 9:30 p.m. I had basically gone all day feeling fine. I might have gotten like the thought. I talk about this thing called like the thought. And for me, it's different than the craving. The craving for me was the willpower. Like on day 1, I had not read far, because the idea of this book is, he says at the very beginning, like, do not force yourself to stop. Like, that's not gonna work. If you're still casually smoking while at the beginning of this book, like, keep doing it. Like, that's fine. Now, the other rule is to not be high when you read the book. So that's why at the beginning of this, we are gonna be sober partners together. And this is your like 30 minutes to not smoke or do anything like that, you know? And he's right. I mean, it won't work if you are high, because the monster and the addiction is just so loud. It convinces you of things that you would never think of, like, otherwise. You know what I mean? So I probably had like 3 or 4 thoughts where one thought could have been like, where's your pen? Or the other thought was like, oh, go get your pen. Or it's almost just like literally having it around me, like, oh, where is it? Or like, I don't know. It's just that little withdrawal, little tinge that's just like clicking you and telling you to go get high, you know? But then here was the big thing yesterday. So my husband has soccer, and that is typically my favorite night when I was high. One, because like, yes, after I got fired, I smoked pretty much all day, like from the moment I was awake. And I will get into this myth too. I think I was one person that was like, you can't tell if I am or not. Like, I'm the same exact person high as I am sober, which one is not true, because I notice how clear and alive I feel now. Like, I feel alive again. I was just like a walking happy zombie because I was on Lexapro, but I was just foggy and like groggy and blech all the time. And that is just not healthy for a partnership, whether or not it's with someone else or a partnership with yourself. Like, it's time that we just take care of ourselves, honestly. Like, oh, this is what I was going to say too. Something it said at the end of my reading today, the chapter was called The Incredible Machine, meaning your body. Like, your body is the most, I wrote notes, the most incredible machine in the world, okay? And then it uses this pilot plane metaphor, which there's another pilot plane metaphor that's, let me do that one real quick. Okay. So there's a pilot and it's very, very foggy outside and it can't see. So it has to use all of its instruments in order to like avoid mountaintops and stuff like that. Like, if there is a big mountain coming, the plane has to go up, you know, to not hit the mountain. So it relies solely, especially in fog, solely on your instruments. And what if like someone tampered with those instruments, you know, like, or no, what if the instruments broke? Sorry, I'm getting two metaphors mixed up. What if the instruments broke? Okay, and it's foggy. That pilot has no idea that the instruments broke, and it's gonna keep flying. And you know what's gonna happen? It's gonna fly into that mountain. Like, duh, that's inevitable. Now, the other one was, okay, let's say that the, you know, same thing is the pilot's fear level, right? He has no idea that these instruments stopped working, and it's slowly taking a descent down, but the pilot's happy the entire time. The entire time, you're fine. You don't think it's the weed, you're fine. But the entire time, you are about to hit a wall and crash, or like you're slowly on a decline down that you have no awareness of. In both of those scenarios, the instruments were no longer working for some reason, weed, and the pilot never was fearful of it because it trusts it so much. It trusts the instrument so much that it was never fear until something super horrible happened. Or, is this distracting on my face? Or you just don't realize how much of an on a decline that you are, which is just so sad. I feel like I was like that too. Like, I was happy-go-lucky. I trusted the weed. I felt like I was going like this the whole time because I was trusting it. But now that the illusion broke and I could see that it was actually just messing with the instruments the whole time, I'm like on a downward spiral. It was not comforting. It was not anything. It is like a big liar, and it is like only taking things from me, which is crazy. Are you laying down? Okay. Sorry, I got so distracted for a second. So, see, this is why I could like never do live, because sometimes I do just like zone out. Okay, so that was the pilot metaphor. I am gonna like have to fix this lighting. Okay. The Incredible Machine. Okay, so now think of a plane. Okay. The plane is one of the most sophisticated machines of our time. Now, it's not a robot necessarily, but the amount of radar instruments, the amount of engineering it just took to create a plane is magnificent, okay? It's so powerful and it's very, very intelligent, okay? You are the pilot inside the plane, and the plane is your body, okay? The plane is your body and you are the pilot. Would you ever take, even if you were on a flight, sorry, I'm like processing this at the same time. Even if you were on a flight, if you knew that your pilot was smoking weed, would you be okay with that? No. If you were about to get heart surgery and you just found out your doctor smoked weed, would you be okay with that? No. Okay. Now I'm going to put that on the flip. Have you ever smoked while working or like before school, I don't know, something, and you get a call from your boss? Tell me your ass doesn't go to your throat. What's the metaphor? Your throat doesn't go up to your ass, whatever. I don't know what that was. Like, you are panicked because you know you're not prepared. But the addiction had you smoke prior to getting that call from your boss. Like, you couldn't control your addiction so much that you smoked during work, but the moment you got caught, you were afraid. Why did you do it in the first place? That sounds silly, doesn't it? It's because the addiction is so strong that you have just lowered your standards for inhibition that, oh my God, look at this girl's hanging off the bed. Look this way, you stinky girl. It sounds crazy, right? Almost like it's obvious that we should know these things, but we don't. And now, here's all my little noteses that I took. Not that big typed thing. Can't talk about that. Let me just write my notes. We'll go through like kind of my notes for today. But the idea is like, would you ever tamper with the plane? Oh, sorry, to go back to, guys, I'm all over the place. I low-key didn't want to make this video because I'm being lazy, and because like nothing necessarily happened. Let me go get some water. Maybe I need water. But I did want to go through all these little things and just see what I wrote, and we could talk about it. This is the beginning of my Dalmatian sketch because I'm a certified doodler. Let's start from the top. Okay. Oh my God. Okay. This is also why I need to stop, because I have severe ADHD and I can't string a thought for the life of me. Okay. Your body is the plane. You are the pilot. Would you ever tamper with the plane? Like, would you ever tamper with the instruments? Like, oh fuck, I forgot that metaphor. Can we just skip that one? Okay. We got this, you guys. Okay. I don't know why I just hit a wall all of a sudden. Oh, have you ever embarrassed yourself high? I have. I will tell you right now. Okay. So one time, I'm a girly that edibles do not work on. And I'm not like, you're just not taking enough. No, trust me. I'm bald. I have taken 5 up to 100 in one sitting. I have done liquids versus this. I have done everything. I think what I learned and what people at the dispensaries have told me is, sorry, it's kind of pretty though. What I was told is if your body metabolizes stuff really fast, and I'm like, did you just call yourself skinny? No, bro, okay, chill. If your body metabolizes stuff really fast, then it can metabolize it before it can get you high. And I think that's just what happens, because I have never had edibles that worked. But the first time I ever took a dab pen, oh my God, I was in college and I was meeting up with a high school friend, her boyfriend, and my best friend, and we were all gonna go see a comedy show. We actually, if you guys are familiar with College Humor or Jake and Amir, or the kids will know it as Headgum podcasts. I don't know what kids do the Headgum podcast, but they're pretty funny. Is Smosh on Headgum now? No, there's no way he would have done that. I digress. We were gonna go see Jake and Amir, and I'm pretty sure I think it's just their original podcast with Jake and Amir or something. But we went to a live show, and my dad had cancer, and I was so high, and Amir made this joke that was like, oh, I'm so embarrassed even saying it. It's so embarrassing. I am not a heckler, okay? I fucking heckled almost, basically. Like, they obviously ignored me, but my friend was like, dude, you have to stop. But I was so high. Like, oh, I'm getting secondhand embarrassment right now. He made a joke about not washing his hands. And I was like, what about cancer patients? I was like, what about people with cancer? I was like, you're gonna get them sick. I'm like, oh my God. At a fucking comedy show, you guys. He was joking, probably did wash his hands. Oh my God, it was so embarrassing. It was so embarrassing. That was way back in the day before Jake met his current wife, mama, whatever. And I almost smoked a blunt with them, actually. He came into town and I was like, oh my God. I messaged both of them and I was like, let me know if you want to smoke tonight after the show. We're going to the show. And he did say like, oh, that would be awesome. Nothing like weird. But it just like never worked out. But I thought I was like fangirled out. I had liked them for a really long time. Actually, the reason why me and my best friend went is because one year in band camp, yeah, we were both in marching band, and in high school we had like a twins day, and me, her sister, and our mutual friend made t-shirts of all like the Jake and Amir quotes. I think mine was Ninja Stars. I can't remember all the funny little quotes. Nuggies or something. I don't know. It was back with Jake and Amir, the show. Anyways, that was a whole digress. But I was mortified. I still think about that today. So embarrassing that I did that. It was the one time that I was high that I just was genuinely embarrassed. Ugh. And that is not me. I do not act like that. So there's that. My God. Okay. Do you know when someone's high? Because I think I tell myself that I act the exact same way. I think I said this. I think I act the same way that I do when I'm high when I'm not, which is not true because right now I can tell. And then I wrote down, do I know when people are high? And I know when people are high 1,000% of the time. Like, even barely, I know. So I want you to ask yourself, out of all the people that you know, do you know when people are high? The answer is probably yes, okay, girl? So people know when you are. And I don't want to be walking around like that anymore. Like, when I see someone doing the fentanyl, I look at them and I'm like, yeah, they're addicted to drugs. But when I see someone glossy-eyed and kind of like, you know, like delayed, whatever, I don't think anything of it. And because I've been brainwashed to think it's like so cool to be like that. And it's not. It's not cool to be groggy and like strung out and can barely form a sentence, or is so socially awkward, or freaking out, or having an anxiety attack, or like, that's just not cute. Okay. The fact that we have all convinced ourselves that that's cute is just not it. Ooh, this one's about courage. You have convinced yourself that it gives you courage. So we have all convinced ourselves that weed has given us courage. But genuine courage is doing something despite of the fear. And so in the book, it was talking about how one big lie that people say is that it helps them be more confident or be more courageous or not as scared, like in group settings, or like the social shyness. And so they'll smoke thinking like they're kind of conquering all of that, but you didn't conquer fear. You didn't conquer fear. You loosened fear. And so that's why you're doing it. You weren't actually courageous. Again, courage is doing something not because it's scary, but in spite of it being scary. Finding something fearful, but still deciding to do it. That's courage, okay? Okay, so this just went into all of that. So the idea that when you do weed, I sound like a parent. When you get high, your like motor skills get slower, your speech gets slower, your mind may get more rapid or more slower, but it's not thinking clearly. And it basically just like puts down all your alarm bells. Like, it's not giving you some secret courage or giving you some secret powers. All it's doing is like making you more vulnerable to fear. And could you imagine, like, if birds decided to get high, they would not flap away at the sound of anything. But birds are like one of the biggest preys to like tons of creatures. And if it didn't flap away at any sound, there would be like no birds. But also, are birds real? Sorry, I gotta move a little bit. Are birds real? Oh, another thing it said, does a firefighter need more weed to go into a fire? Wait, does a firefighter need to smoke to go into a fire? The answer is no. And like, if you just use that example on everything, like, I don't know, does a police officer, a pilot need to smoke weed to be courageous on their job, to be fearful on their job, to be sharp on their job? The answer is no. So why and how have we convinced ourselves that we can't go out without smoking, or we can't go to the store without smoking, or we can't do something without smoking? It's just part of the drug, you guys. Like, that's what it's supposed to be doing, okay? Oh, this was a myth, which I kind of wrote down. Did you know an ostrich doesn't really bury its head in fear? If an ostrich buried its head in fear, it would be like non-existent at this point. Which is what weed does. Like, instead of processing fear or anything, you just literally bury your head in the sand, and that makes you so vulnerable. It can make you vulnerable when you're out in public, if you're alone. It's just that is like the more obvious stuff, which like I guess like resonates a little bit, but it's not the same as when we talk about more realistic things like just wanting to smoke when we go out, but I digress. Oh, it asked a question. It said, think about all the people in your life who are stressed. And we're talking about weed, don't forget, okay? I wouldn't pick all sober people. We're talking about smokers. But think about all the people in your life who are not really going anywhere in your life, who feel depressed. These are not accumulative, these are separate. Who feels depressed, who is maybe super successful but isolates themselves and doesn't go out. Do those people smoke more or smoke less on the spectrum? And the answer is always going to be more. The answer will always be more. I do have a friend who's kind of none of these things, and it's because she's able to have like a joint a month and not pick it back up again. That is because she is not addicted. I am addicted, okay? You are addicted maybe, if you're here. I'll let you decide for yourself. Oh yeah, this made me think of my friend. Okay, so I was thinking about all my friends and stuff like that, and I have this younger friend. She's like 6 years younger than me. And one time I was kind of just worried for her. She was going through a lot and she was smoking a lot, and I had been sober, and I was just like, honestly, probably, I don't know, whatever. I'm like processing this as I'm telling this story, great. But I saw a video of her, and it just reminded me of me before that first time I got sober. And it was a video of her friend filming her, like looking through couch cushions for change, or old pods, or like heating up old pens to like get any amount of whatever out because she didn't have enough money, while simultaneously asking for rent on her TikTok. And my message to her was just like, I want to help, but like, you're also posting that the first thing you're gonna do is buy weed, basically. Like, you didn't find any change, you didn't find anything, and like, you're fiending, literally, definition, for a pen. And then, I mean, she's done this like several times now, but she just went all off and how I'm not like her, how I don't understand, how she's not addicted, she just wanted a pen. And those are like all the things, the signs of an addiction, okay? I was like that. I was like financially, not like, but I was financially abused growing up. And so I leaned heavily on that one girl that I lived with. Go to day 2, I think, to learn about that. That might even be in day 1, but lean heavily on her. And then I got a second, not really a second job, I kind of got a secret job because my parents wouldn't let me do this job. I was just a Lyft driver. In order to have money for weed. Like, I mean, I wasn't like scraping up looking for literal change to buy an ounce, or to buy a, what's the amount? Not an ounce, a gram? Don't even remember. Which used to be $10 back in the day. Isn't that crazy? Even $10 was kind of a lot at one time. I'd like be shopping around for 8. Not an eighth, $8. Hold on, page. So yeah, just be kind to yourself too once you're starting to like realize that you have an addiction. I'm so thankful that I found this book in time that I listened to that podcast with Tana. We're on the right track, you guys. I'm sorry I hope this day 4 isn't like boring, but I almost didn't show up, so here we are. But I desperately need water. I'm thirsty. Oh, I wanted to talk about this. Okay, kind of jumping all over. So before I decided I was never going to smoke again, I decided that I was going to just smoke like at night or even like on the weekends. Okay, haven't you heard that a million times? Like, let's just smoke on the weekends, guys. It'll be fine. It'll be so cool. During the work week, we'll not do it, and then it'll be so fun when it's just on the weekends. You know what I mean? Which doesn't work because you are addicted to it. Like, and here's how it happened to me. So day 1, the monster was so loud, and I was still using the willpower method that also, can you guys tell me if these are too close? I think I like being close because this feels too far away. But I also have like a little lab, like mic thing I could use. Okay, so I told myself I was only gonna have 1 puff, sober. I was sober me saying this. I was only gonna have 1 puff, and it was gonna be my hurrah puff. It was gonna be my celebration. It was gonna be my, you already did 15 hours today, because I had woken up at 5 and it was like 6 p.m. And I was very proud of myself, and I smoked. And the monster was live and well, okay? The monster was like, just take another, you're fine. Like, girl, you're already high. It doesn't matter how high you get at this point. You already did it. Like, it's fine. Or, I don't know, I just smoked 3 more times that night when I was only planning on doing 1. And that's because I am an addict to cannabis, okay? So that's why you can't, here the thing, I say can't, but like, that is why you will never want to. That's the better term. You will never want to do this again. Like, oh, that was what it was saying, is like, you'll just want to be free. This is the whole thing I love about the Easy Way. It's not willpower. It's not like all these mints and fake pens and all those things. I actually used a little fake, it was actually vitamin B12 in a little vape, but it still gives your body the same chemical signals as smoking, so just know that that did not work for me, obviously, because we are here today trying something else. But this method, this is why it's so easy, is because it breaks the illusion. The weed has never been good for you. The weed has never been good for me. I would rather be free from it ever than picking it up and having to do like a tolerance break. And think about it like food, okay? When you diet, do you think about food less, or do you think about food way more when you're dieting? You are thinking about it over the top amount more. So if you're just trying to cut back or do less or take a tolerance break, you're never gonna quit because you're putting so much attention on it. This method is about breaking all ties, that you will not think about it anymore. And when you do think about it, you are gonna realize it is a liar, and you're not gonna want it. You're gonna look at it like, oh, can you picture that one day? Everyone close your eyes. Imagine, sorry, if you're a girl, this is for a girl. You're in the super most cute outfit, mini skirt, halter top. It's dry outside. There's no humidity. Your hair is snatched. Your face is snatched. Everything is so cute. You're going to a party. You show up at the party. The lights are dim. The music is amazing. There is smoke in the air. And you look at that smoke, and the only thing you think is like, oh, thank God I am not trapped there anymore. Like, oh my God, I am so happy that I am not trapped doing that. Like, look at all of them. Like, they're all sluggish, they're all tired, they're overeating, they're gonna wake up tomorrow and I don't know. But you are gonna look at that and be like, oh my God, I am free from that. Thank the fucking God. Like, it's not gonna be like, oh, I need to leave. There's smoke around here. Oh, I need to get out of this place super fast. I can't control myself. No, we're gonna break and brainwash ourselves and the illusion so much that we're not gonna want it at all, at all, at all, at all. Okay? Oh, I wrote this down too. This goes with the tolerance break. Isn't this kind of sad? When you're at the peak of your addiction and the weed is no longer making you as high, what is a common thing people do? They take a tolly break, a tolerance break. If you don't know what a tolerance break is, basically you've smoked so much weed that you don't get that initial high. So you tell yourself that you're going to take a break so that your tolerance increases so that when you smoke again, you'll be high again. Let me say that a little differently. The only reason that you're sober is hopes of getting a bigger high. That's what a tolerance break is. And I get that a tolerance break isn't about quitting. So it's not a, aha, I gotcha. It's more, call it what it is, okay? That was a little harsh, but you need to hear it. The only reason that you can be sober is the hopes of the high being bigger the next time. That's why you're taking a tolerance break, so you can be more fucked up next time. That is not good. If you heard that about someone with alcohol saying, oh, I'm not gonna drink throughout the week because I'm gonna binge on Saturday, would you be like, that's totally fine? Like, I know it's not like one-to-one, but we have just built up this drug so much. I was so brainwashed to think it was like this healthy medicine, and it's not. It's very detrimental to you, okay? Not for everyone. Like my bestie, she can have a joint a month and be totally in control. I and you probably cannot, okay? That's why we're here. Oh, this was a good little tidbit. It said, do not substitute. So right now, we are going to no longer be interested in weed, but we cannot substitute it for anything, like anything at all. We don't want to substitute it for a drink. If you can have a drink, but don't add more drinks in place of weed. Because then you're going to need to read the next book, Alan Carr, Alcoholism. Like, don't do that either. I personally don't struggle with alcohol, and I don't replace it with weed at all. I don't view them one-to-one, but I know people deal with both. So you're not going to if you need to substitute it with something your body needs, like exercise or laying outside or more sleep or healthier meals. Like, those are the things your body actually needs that we've kind of been depriving it of, if we're honest. Like, what was your eating schedule? My eating schedule was waking up, smoking, probably ordering Chick-fil-A breakfast, having a coffee because I was so tired, probably ordering DoorDash, eating too much at night. Like, it's just not good. It's not good for you. But we've got this, you guys. We're gonna get through this hard part. And again, I encourage you so much to read the book because it very much is like brainwashing and hypnosis. I only have an hour and like 40 minutes left of the book. It's like a 3-hour book. I actually, guys, I used to be scared that I was gonna get to the point where it told me I needed to stop. That's how deep my addiction was. I didn't want to read too much because I knew there was a point. He said there was a point that, sorry, I'm getting a lot of YouTube comments. I don't know what they're from. I forgot what I was gonna say. No! I don't know, we'll save it for next time. Okay. I'm gonna jump off because I'm I'm pretty proud of myself. I didn't want to show up today, but you and I showed up together. If you haven't, please subscribe. I'm like so excited for this journey. I love to help people. I love to give people stuff that I learn. And oh, that's what I was gonna say. Basically, there's a point in the book where he tells you you're gonna stop, and my addiction was so high that I was too afraid to read too much. I was afraid it was gonna get to that point. But we are on day 3 of being sober. I have a wonderful client meeting tomorrow. I feel so excited and ready and prepared, and yeah, it's gonna be a wonderful day. And you are gonna have a wonderful day. And that is about it, you guys. Say goodbye to my babies. They're sleeping. And you can do it tonight. Remember, if you hear it, it's the little withdrawal monster. And if you're having the I want it, I can't have it, moment, that is willpower. And it's okay to go ahead and smoke, but know that it's the monster, it's not you. If you do smoke tonight, tell yourself you are feeding a little addict monster, a little gross little booger monster that's in there. That's all you have to do. And notice how you feel after. If you feel the thoughts going like, whoa, feel how relaxed I am, that's also the little withdrawal monster. So write down your feelings, process them. Anytime something sounds positive about weed, it is not you, it's the monster. Love you guys. Subscribe. Stay tuned for tomorrow. Love you. Day 5.